Welcome to We Chat Divorce, hosted by Karen Chellew, Legal Liaison, and Catherine Shanahan, CDFA. Each episode, we sit down with divorce professionals and industry experts to provide insights and frank discussions about real people, real situations, and real divorce to help you achieve your best life post-divorce. This episode of We Chat Divorce is brought to you by My Divorce Solution, offering divorce financial planning so clients can secure the divorce settlement they deserve. Visit mydivorcesolution.com to request access.
Welcome to We Chat Divorce. I'm Catherine Shanahan, and I'm here with Karen Chellew, and we're going to do things a little differently today, which is why I'm starting off. We typically have a formal discussion about real people, real divorce, real situations, and we're still doing that, but we're doing it a little differently. We want to talk about the holidays. I don't know if you wrote a Dear Santa list ever or a wish list, but maybe we should talk about some things that could be on your wish list if you're facing divorce. You ready for this conversation, Karen?
I am. And when you said that, it made me think about my own kids and myself. Some people write the Dear Santa letter from their wants. Some people write from their needs, right? I don't know if it's a personality thing or not, but my Santa lists are always what I need, what I felt I needed.
That's so funny because my mom used to say to me, do you want that or do you need that? And then I'd say, I don't know, do you want that or do you need that? Like to something. She goes, it doesn't matter. I want it.
So when you're going through divorce, you definitely have to be super cognizant about what you need, right? So that you can reset yourself for the journey ahead. But certainly during the holidays, that want list could be super valuable, I think.
Yeah. And so how do you write that list to Santa? Or if you don't celebrate Christmas, to any of your wish lists out there. You do start out, if you're going through divorce, you're thinking divorce, it's a tough year. It's tough to think about all of that. So navigating the holidays, especially if you're co-parenting, you're in the middle of the process or you're at the end of the process, or you've been divorced for a few years. I don't know. It's always still difficult because you have to spread your kids all over the place, right? Or like me, I'll be alone this year. So what am I doing and what am I wishing for? And I'm getting a lot of invites to people's places, but even just being home alone sometimes could be really nice. And that's okay too.
Yeah, those chapters of life, right? So finding within yourself, like whatever's going to make you happy, or maybe not even happy, but a little less stressed. Maybe sometimes that's what you got to settle for on those first or second Christmases, because it's just to make it a little better. So that would be a want, I think, a peace of mind. You could say you need it, but I would put that more in a want list.
Peace of mind can go a long way. And how do you find peace of mind?
Well, I call that neutralizing. Sometimes, well, we're on calls with, clients all the time where something has been very upsetting, and it is more so around the holidays. But I always encourage people to try to neutralize the emotion, maybe not resolve it, but if you can just feel a little better, if you can just do something to just neutralize it a little bit, it really does go a long way, I think.
Yeah. And I guess peace of mind can also be accept where you are in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend I'm going to my family's house and my kids are meeting me there. So it won't be on Christmas Day, but it'll be a few days before that. And that's okay. Why can't that be my Christmas Day?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm actually alone, even though on the day they won't be with me, but I'm okay with that. They've grown, they've launched, and they have new families started. So that's what they should do. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. And that's good.
Of course, I'll probably have a really good bottle of wine I'll open.
That's probably always a necessity. So, second thing on a wish list that we're always going to be promoting and encouraging is financial clarity. So during the downtime, if you have some, after you've settled down a little bit and you're into the holiday, maybe near the end, or you could just do a little bit every day. We really encourage financial clarity and getting as much knowledge as you can, getting your ducks in a row, so to speak, it's really important, especially if you're going to be making some important decisions in the beginning of the year.
And don't overstretch yourself. If you can't afford to spend a lot of money on gifts and you can't afford a really good bottle of wine, really good bottles of wine don't come in really high prices all the time. There's some really, I'm just using this as an example. There's some
Mhm.
really good $20 bottles of wine too, probably, right? So again, that's your peace of mind, finding the financial clarity so that you can just enjoy and not put so much pressure on yourself monetarily. So understand what your capacity is and just be okay with that.
I agree. And sometimes the best gifts are the gifts of yourself. And when you're going through divorce, sometimes you're not feeling so wonderful about yourself, but it just means that you're not feeling wonderful about yourself. You actually are wonderful, right?
Hmm.
But I was just reading, I think it was like a Facebook post or something where someone had written a note. I couldn't do it to this level, but I thought it was a wonderful idea of written a note to her children that they could open every day of the next year. That's 365 notes. But what if you just did one a month or one a quarter? Like, what a fabulous gift that would be.
Oh,
You
you
know,
just reminded me of what I did when I got divorced. I raised three stepchildren, then I
yeah.
had two biological children. And that first Christmas that we were divorced, I bought them each a journal. And in the journal, I opened it up and I wrote some fond memories I had of them growing up
I
that
love
had
that.
to do with me and them. And I just put in there that, we'd still be a family. And here are some things I know about you that I always want you to remember. And it was about their personality or, one didn't like change, so I reminded her of that. And that was my gift to them was that journal with a note from me about them and what I loved about them. So I just remembered that. That was a really good idea I had.
That's a fabulous idea because I think, when you're going through divorce, your children are also going through divorce. And, I felt this way too. I was young, my kids were young, and I didn't have any money. And I felt so guilty that I couldn't afford what I wanted to give to them. But those gifts of yourself, of love, are really the things that my kids have held on to,
Yeah.
bar none.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you've done things like that, like we are talking about, do them again. If you haven't done them, think of something else
Mhm.
creative that would be impactful, not only for your children, but for you. Because now, just us talking about this now at this moment, I mean, I almost can tear up a little bit,
Me
um,
too.
thinking, gosh, that was just as special for me as it was for them, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
I just kind of forgot about it. And I'm glad that I'm able to talk right now to all of you and remember that. Because I think maybe I haven't done some of those things in the last 12 years that maybe I should start doing it. I mean, I've done nice things, but just things for my own peace of mind. Um,
Yeah.
it does
And if
go a
you
long
don't,
way.
yeah. And if you don't have children, you probably have nieces and nephews or other young kids, that you could develop a relationship with because those kinds of relationships are very strong and, you know, helpful. But it kind
Yeah,
of goes into encouraging to build new holiday traditions. I know I did. You probably did too.
that's
Um,
a good wish. I like that
yeah.
wish.
Yeah.
Mhm,
after the after my divorce, we started having Friday night sleepovers, because I could, right? It was just
mhm.
easier. We just piled on the couch, watched a movie. Every year I got them a Christmas ornament that was indicative of something that was special to them that year, whether they started baseball or they got a new car or if they started, so whatever it may be. um, so that when they left home, they had their whole, they have their box of Christmas ornaments we collected. But there's a whole lot of new holiday traditions that you could think about that would be valuable to yours and your family's relationship. And that can really go a long way in the reset too.
I love the pajamas that you do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
still do that?
Yeah. It's probably our last year though. So it's a scavenger hunt. Everybody does a scavenger hunt for new pajamas on Christmas Eve. So my son's a senior in college. So this will probably be the last year. Unless he's home again next year, he'll have to hunt for his pajamas. I thought he may have grown out of it last year, but it was midday Christmas Eve last year. And he said, "We're doing a scavenger hunt, right?"
I remember the reality when my daughter realized that I'm not doing stockings anymore.
Oh.
They're grown now, aren't my kids? And I was like, no, they're so expensive, those stockings. I stopped that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't too happy about it, but I guess, she understands now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So start a new holiday tradition. I love that idea. And it's never too late to do that. Maybe I need to think of a new one. Um, but yeah, one thing I did think of, my mom's not with us anymore. And now that I have grandchildren, I remember I didn't live close to my parents. We were 5 hours away. And because I had my stepdaughters, we always had to be at home for Christmas. So I wasn't with them. But my children were allowed to open their gift just from my mom and dad on Christmas Eve. And I felt like that was so special because it was just that moment. It was the only gift they were allowed to open. They weren't inundated by other gifts. And it really just, whatever the thoughtful gift was, it was just about them. And that's a tradition I'm going to hope carry forward, that my grandchildren open the gift from me on that day because they get so much. And I like to give little thoughtful things. So, picking that special time to give that gift, it doesn't have to be on Christmas Day. It's just kind of like what I talked about earlier. I'll see my kids this weekend, and it's just going to be as special as it would be if I saw them on Christmas Day. And that's okay. I'm at peace with all of that.
I love that. And you know what? I was thinking, Catherine, if you don't have children and you want to buy gifts, or you do have children and you still want to buy gifts, don't leave yourself out, right? You're worthy of a gift too. Splurge on yourself. Give yourself the gift of love.
You don't have to tell me that twice.
I know.
As a matter of fact, maybe I'll work half the day today and go buy myself some gifts and wrap them and put them under the tree.
You're my inspiration for that.
So seriously, from My Divorce Solution and Karen and I, we really want you to have a nice holiday season. Whether you're alone or you're with friends and family, it doesn't matter as long as you are at peace with yourself. You make some wishes come true for yourself. Those are the most rewarding in the long run. We'll be thinking about you and wishing you all the best.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of We Chat Divorce. We hope this episode was informative and supportive on your divorce journey. If you're looking for more support for navigating divorce with confidence and clarity, head over to mydivorcesolution.com for more podcast episodes, divorce events, and resources for your divorce. We'll see you back here for our next episode.